including how we feel about money without realizing that that's how we feel about money.
Yeah.
So
we're not in touch with people's experiences.
Yes.
You know, some people are at a point where they're living from paycheck to paycheck.
Yes.
And then
it's only in the last few decades that women could hold their own bank account even.
Yeah.
So
sometimes people are not aware is that other people have additional income.
yeah,
People have other streams of income. You
yes,
might see them driving this fancy car and you might assume that, okay, we work the same job.
Yes.
Only to find out they have additional income and that additional income is actually paying for the car.
Let's talk about these kind of side hustles and stuff, because you know side hustle culture is a big thing now.
Yeah.
I think in this economy,
Yes.
you've got to look for a side hustle. The reality is, it is a very, very tough time to be an adult right now. Paying bills, guys, it's very tough out there. So it's very important to have one, obviously, authentically in a responsible way, making you money, building a brand, helping you to build your wealth.
And I think what's also important with side hustles, guys, is also understanding that not all of them are going to make you rich.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
that's true.
Sometimes,
that's a tough lesson.
Yeah, sometimes that side hustle, all it's going to do is maybe pay for your electricity. Go for it, you know.
Yeah.
And also with side hustles, stop listening to the noise. I feel like sometimes people don't want to do those things. Imagine, for instance, you are in corporate and you've got a 9 to 5, and then maybe additionally you sell rebranded clothing. Like, oh, what are people going to say?
Oh, yeah.
You get, but because you know your own financial goals to go for it.
Yes,
And you know, okay, this is likely not going to make me rich,
Yes.
but it can cover maybe my rates and taxes.
Yes.
It can cover my electricity.
Yeah.
So with side hustles, guys, be aware that they're not necessarily going to make you rich.
Yeah, I like that. I like to know that, okay, fine, it may not just be that you're getting, financially rich, but like also, maybe you're feeling better.
Yes.
So you're like, oh, I'm practicing my passion.
That's the thing.
You know,
Yeah.
so you're
That's
getting
the
rich
thing.
in different ways.
Exactly.
Yeah, sometimes a side hustle is a business idea for a passion that you have for something, and you get to extend that side of your personality, which you might not get in your corporate 9 to 5 job. So that's the beauty of it. If even if it doesn't make you a lot of money, and then electricity is very expensive.
Yeah,
so
if your
that's
side
all-
hustle is
that-
covering
if your side hustle
electricity,
is covering your electricity,
well.
girl, that
Yeah,
is
you're
that
doing
is
well.
very valuable.
Yes.
I'm sorry, the price of electricity. However, if you look at it like that, but also the fact that it gives you downtime to be creative, get out there,
outlets.
meet new
Yeah.
people.
Yes.
I think that also adds so much value that you might not be able to put a price on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which we do
yeah.
nowadays. All we want to do is know, like, how much does
Exactly.
this content creator earn?
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
And it should move past that a little
Yes.
bit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We can't be so focused on, they only earn this much. But, maybe this work really, like, revitalizes them.
Exactly.
And, like, it's a huge
Yes.
passion of theirs.
Yeah.
Exactly. Maybe this is what works for them now in terms of flexibility and what they need.
Yes,
Not
absolutely.
everybody has the ability to work in a structured 9 to 5. And this gives you side hustles and other money, give you the opportunity to say, maybe I don't need to work a full-time 9 to 5. Maybe I can go part-time. I can study. I can do these other things once it's built up. I think it's really, really important. And it's definitely part of like a journey in terms of building wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that the only way you can really figure out if you want to get into a side hustle is if you know what your financial goals are.
Oh,
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah.
So you've got to have like a short, medium, and long-term plan.
Yes.
Do you guys like document that, or do you have like an idea in your mind about this is the goals I want to achieve in the next couple of years?
I document.
Oh, wow.
Guys, I document.
Wow.
I'll have financial goals of saying maybe in the next next 2 years, this is what I want. I feel like it holds me accountable.
Oh, wow.
Can I ask a bit more, like, how do you document it? Because that's
Yes.
really interesting.
I was going to say, wow,
Yeah,
I am
that's
in
really
awe because I
interesting
don't
to me.
document it.
Yes.
So as much as I have my budget, then
Right.
in my budget, I will also have a tab on my financial goals.
Oh, wow.
So I will actually look at, because I feel like once I see it in paper,
Yes.
right? Because also financial goals doesn't mean acquiring. It can also mean debt reduction.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So one of my goals is that I want to pay my bond off as quickly as possible.
Oh, yes, yes.
Right. So that's a financial goal.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when I see it, whichever cash flow that comes in, if I can move towards reducing my bond as quickly as possible. Although some people say, don't pay off your bond as quickly as possible. You can write off the.
But that's the thing. It's
Yeah,
your
it's what-
financial.
yeah,
That's my
exactly. What's
exactly.
your financial
That's
goal?
my
Yeah,
financial
yeah,
goal.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I feel like documenting, guys, seeing it, will go a long way.
And it holds you accountable. I think I love that
Yeah.
because that's the thing. It's easy to sit here, and you should sit here and have very big dreams for what you want your finances to look like, what you want your wealth to look like, or be like, oh, you know what? When I grow up, I want to have like 2 million rand in my bank account. How do I get
Yeah.
to that? What do I need to do? And I think that's fantastic. I'll be very honest. It's not something I do. I
sounds
think,
really good, though.
like, I mean, I'm very proud that I've taken this many steps, but what I like is that there's still steps I need to take.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
think that's what I love
Yeah,
about
always
it
growing.
consistently being a journey. So I
Yes.
might have something in my mind, but I don't have it written down. And maybe that's the next step, because having that accountability, I love seeing it on paper,
Yeah.
because you actually start to be like, how do I do this then? If I can physically see this is my goal, what do I do about it?
Yes.
Not just it's in my mind and I must hope I remember this is my goal, you know?
Because
So-
I feel
yeah.
that when you see it and maybe a legitimate business opportunity comes up, because you know you have that goal, you won't just like, it's one of those.
Yeah.
You'll be more invested in actually asking the questions and
Yeah.
say, okay, you're saying this, how much am I likely going to get? And when you look at your financial goal, you're like, okay, there's a profit of maybe a 2,000 Rand or a 5,000 Rand. I can put that into reducing my bond, for instance. Yeah.
And I think also, every lump sum that you could get, so if you get a tax refund, I know you're part of a stokvel.
Yes.
Also, so like every sort of lump sum that you get, you then want to also be very intentional with how
Yeah.
you spend that.
Oh, yes, definitely.
How are you using everything that comes in to achieve your financial goals?
Touching on the stokvel.
Yes.
So for me, I always say to people that I know a lot of people who are into stokvels. I think stokvel works for me because from the beginning of the year, I'm very intentional on where the money is going.
Right.
For instance, if I know there's a debt that I want to pay off, or for instance, maybe there's a certain piece of furniture I want to buy.
Right.
I love interior.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, okay, I'm not going to get that on credit. When my money for my stokvel comes in, I'm going to buy it, you know.
Sian, look, take us back a little bit, because I'm not familiar with stokvels. How does it work? Break it down for me a little bit.
So we are literally, I think we're 12 in our stokvel. So every like round about this period, our stokvel chairperson takes out a list, and then you pick a month.
Okay.
So if, for instance, if you've picked February, you guys select how much you're going to be paying, right? And then everybody pays it to her, and then she gives it to you.
And
And,
then in
funny
the-
enough, I haven't met some of the people I'm on a stokvel with.
You're just like, thank you for my money.
Thank you for my money. As like, I know people are going to be like, you can do it yourself. You can still save. But I feel like in that way, it kind of forces me.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a mindset.
It's a mindset thing,
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
very
And
interesting.
I think with all of this stuff, even when we were talking about emergency funds and stuff, sometimes it's nice to have these things separate.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So yes, you could save the money, sure.
Yeah.
But now it's away and then it's coming in. And then you're creating that financial discipline of
Yeah.
like, when this money comes in, I need to do X, Y, and Z with it so that it's not just coming in and getting spent. Because I'm sure it
Yes,
wasn't always
exactly.
the way that you were so
No.
intentional with it.
I'm not going to lie. There were some times when I would get my money from my stokvel, and when I look back, I'm like, where did this money go?
Free money.
Exactly. But once I was intentional from the beginning of the year, sat down with my financial goals and be like, okay, I can take a portion here, I can take a portion there.
Yeah, and that's when your Excel sheet really comes in handy,
Yeah.
though, I have to say, hey?
Yeah.
Because then you put the number and then you put it everywhere and then it really makes a huge difference.
I'm not in
so that-
finance, guys. Excel's not for
No,
me.
try
Budget
an Excel.
sheets are not for
Try
me.
it.
No, try it
Yeah,
out. Really
no.
try it out. It's really so useful because, I feel like that really helps. I find also, okay, fine, I want to do better now in terms of documenting my financial goals, but they're always playing in the back of my
Yes.
mind because from childhood,
Yeah.
like that's what's coming. But essentially what I find is that it's not something that I do at the beginning of the year and then it doesn't change. So like
Oh,
it's constantly
yes.
something that I'm revisiting.
Yes, and that's life, because sometimes you'll have a financial, like a bigger financial emergency
Yes, yeah.
that you don't plan, like a car accident or your geyser bursts or something you didn't plan for, and you've got to be willing to kind of reshape your goals and figure out what it is that you're going to do. I mean, that's life, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I feel like that really helps to me. So I'm not just doing one plan at the beginning, then I'm like, oh, I need to be really strict and stick to this because life doesn't work that way.
Exactly.
And
Or
that's
being-
when you get derailed.
Or being hard on yourself if it doesn't go that way.
Yes.
Like, oh my word, I didn't expect this to happen, and now it's March, so but the rest of the year I've just given up on my financial goals for this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
I'll try again next year.
Yeah,
you know?
no, it can never really be that.
Yeah.
So we talk about things like, if your geyser bursts, so if like a tire and so on. What are the sort of non-negotiable things you'd spend on?
For me, there are two things: my car insurance and my medical aid.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
the same. I think, very lucky that, being in corporate as well, you have exposure to learning so much about like healthcare and all of those kind of things. I think it's become very, very important for me. I think insurance and medical aid are both about risk. So it's not about like the everyday like doctor visits or going to the pharmacy over the counter. I always, in the back of my mind, it's always, what if I need to go to the hospital for an operation? Because
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can be feeling
Yeah.
fine today and tomorrow
Yeah.
something can
Exactly.
happen,
Yes.
and you don't know how that's going to work. So, because that's life. So for me, both are about measuring risk. Same with car insurance. You can do everything right and somebody can drive into you
Yeah.
and you can have a car accident. So
Yeah.
you're covering yourself for those periods so that at that point, you're not like financially responsible for such big values of money. So I agree, Zen. Those are my two non-negotiables.
Yeah. I want to take it to a very deep topic now.
Okay.
So we're the generation that talks about being the ones who are going to start creating generational wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a bit of a big responsibility also. What does generational wealth mean to you?
I feel like generational wealth is so important. I feel like for me, it's about legacy. It's about leaving something behind or also working towards something that belongs to me.
Yeah.
I feel like, yes, corporate is great.
Yes.
Yes, it's afforded me the amazing opportunities, but there's always that thing always at the back of my mind. Is it mine? And which it's not. So for me, that is why generational wealth is so important.
Yeah, I think for me, whether or not I stay in corporate, building wealth is important so that when life inevitably throws you a curveball, it's not something that stresses me out like into the future. So I can say, okay, I can still do everything I need to do. And yes, this is very, very inconvenient, but I don't have to stop and have anxiety about how am I going to pay for this? How am I going to manage, And then, eventually building to like nicer things that I can afford without going into huge debt, whether it's a house or a car, or whatever it is. But I mean, it might be a little bit materialistic, but at the end of the day, the thing about building generational wealth is you're putting the effort in to build it for yourself, to build it for the generations that come after you. So I think you can have a little bit of that wanting material things and doing that for yourself.
Do you feel sad that you don't already have decades and decades and generations of generational wealth?
Like,
Let's explore like that, because I think, we all laugh it off.
Yeah.
But I think it's an important conversation.
I feel like, how do I say this? I'll give you a typical example. When one finished studying, right? And then you start your first job. Because you don't have generational wealth, you're likely going to go rent.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, yeah.
Most of the time, you're not mobile. Whether you want to buy a car, you have to buy a car. But I feel like if at least you had a bit of generational wealth and there was a property, the only thing that you'd be working towards is getting a car.
Yeah.
By the time you're in your third or fourth year, you buy your own. So there's property 1, property 2. So I feel like for me, that is why I'm sad that I feel like one sort of had to start from the bottom. But also grateful that, how do I say this? By starting from the bottom, there's so many lessons that I feel like if I didn't get that experience, I wouldn't navigate life the way I navigated.
Yeah. I mean, I think like if I had wealth like the Ambanis or something, I don't think I'd be me. I'd be do you think money would have changed you? Like having that level of wealth would have changed you?
For sure. I mean, imagine flying first class or private all the way and being able to do whatever you want. I mean, to be honest, there is a lot of value and beauty in learning how to like afford these things for yourself. But I'd have been a different person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always say to people, I'm like, wait until somebody has money.
Oh, then you see their true
Then
colors.
you'll get to see
Yeah,
who
who
they
they
truly
really
are.
are.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like the lack of money sometimes makes other people very humble.
Yes, it does. Yeah, that
Maybe
would.
I'm also like,
That's why you're humble right now. Yeah.
You'd be a lot more arrogant if you didn't have it.
yeah.
So what amount, like, and you don't have to tell me what the amount is, but I think we're always moving this goalpost also. We're like, if I just had this amount, if I just had that amount, like, do you think that there's a certain number that you could say to yourself, if I just had that amount, I'd be content, I'd be happy, like, I'd be good?
I don't think I've ever had an amount in mind.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, I'd say these are the things that I enjoy spending money on. And if I feel like I can do it consistently, whether it's like travel overseas and fly business class or do whatever, those kind of things, then for me, I'll feel like I've arrived. But it's difficult to put a value on things because the cost of what something is right now, if I'm like, okay, if I just have 1 million, it will be fine. What 1 million can buy me today, it won't be able to buy me in 10 years. So for me, it's unrealistic to say you should have a value in terms of what would make me happy. For me, it's more like when I achieve these things, that's probably what I'd work with.
Okay, I have a value, but I'm not going to share.
Okay, yeah.
But I know if I had that value, guys, right now I'm just like, just maybe 6 months or a year of not having to pay my bills.
Yeah,
Right. Knowing that
that's
my
good.
bills are sorted.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes because I feel like as much as you can take leave, as much as you can go on holiday, sometimes I feel like I need more time to just sit.
Like a sabbatical.
I know.
You had
you know,
money to take a sabbatical. Yes.
I think also, that leads into the thing about how people always say, oh, money doesn't buy you happiness, which to me is just the most ridiculous thing in the world.
I think money buys you freedom and time.
Yes.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily buy you, like, I mean, you can't find happiness in things, but it can buy you a business class ticket, can buy you the fancy dinner at a restaurant.
Yeah.
It can buy you all those things that you don't necessarily get if you don't have
I
that
think
money.
also, it buys you security,
Exactly.
breathing room.
Exactly. Like if something breaks, it's not going to break my budget.
Exactly. It's not going to derail your entire life. Like it gives you that time. So if you want to take 6 months off, you take 6 months off. So it's one of the most irritating things to me. It's like always rich people. Like,
Money doesn't
buy you happiness. I'm like, maybe it doesn't buy you happiness.
Well, as you
it's so enriched
say
my life.
in your Range Rover with your
Yes,
Louis Vuitton
exactly.
bag, it doesn't buy you
It's
happiness.
like the thing we always say.
Yeah.
About how you would rather cry in a Porsche.
No, like I have a friend who literally advocates for that. She'll be like, listen, don't get it twisted. I am not crying in a Taz. I am trying. I'm going to cry in a Porsche.
Do they still make Taz?
No, but she was just like saying, listen.
That's the perfect example.
That is such a hustler car though.
Yes.
So that is the right
Exactly.
example.
So
Yes,
she's
that's
like-
the right example.
Yeah, so I really, I have an issue with that when people say, oh, money doesn't buy you happiness. I'm like, you're coming from a place of comfort if you're saying
Yes.
Yeah, I feel
And
like
privilege.
I know. I feel
Yes.
like it's people who haven't experienced what it feels not to have it.
Yes.
You know.
Who haven't experienced what it feels like to have an unexpected bill and be like, how do I reshuffle
Exactly.
my
You know?
life so I do this? I think it's exactly what you said. It buys you freedom and options and opportunity and breathing room to say, I can handle what life is throwing at
Yeah,
me.
and I love what you said also about how it buys you time.
It does buy you time.
Exactly.
I think that's the one thing I know. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I was like, the reason why we go to our 9 to 5s is because we need the money. But if you did not have to go to your 9 to 5, you'd use your time for other things that maybe you I'm not saying we're not passionate with our corporate careers, but more creative stuff, you know. So yeah, I feel like it does buy you time.
In that though, when you were picking your corporate job, did how much you were going to earn factor into what career path you went into? Did you look at it and say, oh, with this I could create generational wealth? Or were you just like, I'm 18, I need to pick something?
That was me. I was probably into like my second year of my undergrad and I still had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. And part of it is because, let's be honest, they don't really teach you that kind of skills when you're in high school. Yes, that you'll get limited exposure into what is out there to study, but you don't get the exposure level that you need to make these really big life-altering decisions at 18. So I was lucky enough that our parents like prioritized education and were like, go and get a degree. Like find something you want to study that you're going to be passionate about studying and go do it and get your degree. So that I'm very, very like grateful for. But even by like second year, I was like, I don't even know I don't know what I want to do with my life. And for me, I'm very lucky that I landed in a space where what I do is something I enjoy so much. It fits in well with my personality. And it's now something that, yes, I'm in the right path. But I did not pick it for the money, hey?
Yeah. Zan, did you pick it?
I picked it for the money and I'm still waiting for it. I'm kidding. But one of the things for me, I was fortunate enough when I was in high school, one of my teachers highlighted that the husband was what
you do.
You know, was what I do. But you could kind of see also her lifestyle compared to the other teachers. So we all were like, maybe she's got something. So yeah. But I'm still waiting for it.
Oh no, don't say that. That's so sad.
Maybe at the number she's got in her head.
Oh,
Yeah,
At the number she's got in her
She's
head,
thinking
she's
like
still
that-
waiting.
that old
It's not
money
like there's
number.
no gratefulness.
No,
Yeah,
don't get it
yeah,
twisted.
yeah.
Totally grateful.
Yeah, just clearing it
But
up for everybody else. Yeah.
And I think also it's the expectation that
Yes.
people
Oh, yes.
assume,
Yeah.
our careers come with
a certain number.
But the other thing that I feel like the expectation people have is you will just get that degree and your very first job
Oh, I love
is
that
gonna
expectation.
pay
That never works.
I mean, really. Because obviously when you're
Bless.
very young and you're like, oh, look at these people with their fancy jobs and they've got, 9 to 5 looking very cute going to work every day.
Yes.
And automatically the money is going to come. And the reality, I think, particularly in South Africa, as a youth going into the job market, is you're going to have to take an internship or a learnership or some sort of workplace learning that pays a stipend. And that stipend is literally going to pay your transport to the office and back. And if you're
Yes.
lucky, a few other things, not everybody lands in that big, fancy graduate program, that fancy corporate, but you have to start somewhere. So being very realistic that the very first job might not get you like exactly there. So being very, very realistic about the whole experience and also putting in the effort.
Yeah. No, I agree. So look, I mean, I think even for me, I didn't really know, which is quite surprising. I thought I was a much smarter 18-year-old.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, so
I
I don't
really
think I
didn't.
knew as much as I should have. And I think the other thing also is that, no matter where you land up in life, you'll always have that group of people who are like, I'm doing this job, but it's not my passion. Let's talk about that a little bit. Like does every job that you have to do, like, does it have to be one or the other?
I don't know. I'll be honest, guys. I'm quite passionate about what it
you do,
is
yeah.
that I do. I don't know. I mean, if people who have the chance to end up listening in over meetings or whatever, I hope you would see it because I actually do enjoy what it is that I do. Maybe not every minute of every day, but nobody enjoys everything every minute of every day. But I think I'm very lucky. So I don't actually sit here thinking I want to do a passion project. I mean, we spoke about it in our previous episode as well. For me, it's about I want to contribute to research in my field. I'm actually very passionate about what it is that I do. So for me, my job is my passion.
That's deep. That's rare. Yeah.
I'm the opposite. Okay? I want to say I'm not passionate about what I do, but I always say that I was quite aware of where I come from.
Yeah.
And I was quite aware that in order for me to do better,
To get to where you need to go. Yeah.
I needed to study certain things, right? And I feel like that kind of pushed me how I move. You get what I mean? So I wish I could say the same sentiments, but I don't. But I don't take lightly of what I do.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
another thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also I feel like we need to have that conversation that sometimes in order for you to get to the level of you being able to do what you're passionate about, some moments or some seasons in your life will require you to do the uncomfortable work.
Definitely.
You know?
No, I completely agree with that. Yeah, I think I'm a little bit of both. So, look, I completely understand that, yes, we should have passion. And, I think once you're doing a job, you should put your all into it. I think that's
Yeah.
important.
Oh, for
And,
sure.
we spoke about that in the first 2 episodes also. But, you've got to pay the bills.
Yes, that too.
And I feel like
It's
that's
okay.
the reality of a lot
Yeah,
of us.
that's okay.
We need to pay bills.
Yeah, I think, also I think in our country, given the unemployment rate being what it is, sometimes it's okay not to be like, this isn't my passion. Like, you don't have to
Yes.
complain about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Make peace with that and move on. It doesn't need to be the only thing that keeps you going.
Exactly. And find ways to find your passion. But
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily need to be at the expense of your job that you can still be simultaneously grateful for.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we all don't come from the same backgrounds, you know. There are people who can say, okay, they started this career, but now I'm moving towards what I'm more passionate about because financially they can afford that.
Yes.
I feel like we're seeing all of these things on social media where people left their jobs, right? And they say, I'm happier, I'm more calmer. But sometimes they don't tell you that, oh, by the way, I have a trust fund, or by the way, I have an inheritance. So I feel like knowing your own financial situation is very important, and also not comparing yourself to somebody else.
Definitely.
What are some of the biggest financial lessons you guys have learned for yourselves as you've started earning?
Ooh, that is a difficult question.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like, really trying to identify what my money identity is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and understanding and being okay with the fact that it's unique to anybody else's, and really making peace with that. That was one of the things. And then, like everything that we've spoken about. So being really intentional with my goals and all of that, and forgiving myself if I didn't spend as I always should have spent, and trying to do better as I move forward.
Yeah, I think for me, the lesson is definitely to continuously evolve, to learn to, because like the little inner voice that's going to be like, what if I run out of money? To balance that with the fact that it's okay, you can do this, you can have certain nice things, being open to consistently doing the work. I think that's been probably one of the biggest lessons. And part of that is understanding and having that self-awareness of my money, like how am I spending my money? And then I feel like I'm in control. I have that strength and that power. And now I don't have certain guilt in buying myself something nice. And that's a very hard lesson to learn, because you do so much of unlearning to get to that point.
I think touching on what you say, one of the lessons for me is also don't be hard on yourself. And also it's about learning to live within your means.
That is so
That is a big
powerful.
one.
That
Learning
is
to
so
live
powerful.
within your means. And like you said, it evolves.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, 'cause
Let's
As
actually
you
talk about
as
that.
you earn more, you want to spend more.
Exactly that,
You
like
know?
lifestyle
Lifestyle
creep.
creep, yeah.
So that's actually so important,
Yes.
because the more you make, obviously, you're like, for example, if you were buying clothes at Jet or wherever, and you now suddenly want to be buying like Country Road because you're earning more, that like little lifestyle creep. It's so important to touch on. Don't go above your means.
Yeah.
Yeah. So buy yourself the nice thing. Obviously, lifestyles adjust. And to be honest, if you're working so hard towards these goals, then you would want to be spending your money on like more expensive things. Obviously, it makes sense. But to do it within your means is what's important.
Absolutely, because if you're doing this, if you're saying, okay, look, I'm not, like, I don't have financial freedom right now. If I could just earn a little bit more, I'd have financial freedom. But then when you get more money, you're repeating the same behaviors that you had from before. You're never going to be free of the anxieties that money
Absolutely.
can bring.
Absolutely.
So you're never going to be financially free. And for me, financially free is being able to do all the things we've spoken about, to have like the emergency fund, to be able to like, learn more about investing and start investing, and then start to build that generational wealth. But you don't get to do that if you're, just buying the Country Road clothes. And not changing anything else in the background.
I think what's also important about that, for me, financial freedom, as you were saying, it's coming from, if I don't have credit card debt, that's my sign to me. So living within your means, I think it's such an important thing that it's difficult to do, because like we've talked about how you want to like impress people, you want to have, like, if somebody else has something, you also want to have it. So living within your means becomes very, very difficult. But for me, a sign of financial freedom over and above everything else is not having like credit card debt at all. So yes, I personally have a credit card, and that's because a lot of banks, if you swipe your credit card, you get more points, and those add up to other vouchers and other things. And that's very, very useful. But it's for that purpose, not, and also to build up a credit score. Because the reality is, if you want to buy a house, buy a car, get a loan for something, you want to start a side hustle, you need to have a good credit score, because the bank needs to see you as favorable to lend to. So for that purpose, it's very, very important. But for no other purpose. So I like try to make it like, if I'm swiping my credit card, the money is going into that account like almost immediately, so that you're keeping your credit score healthy.
And that comes from good financial discipline, though.
Yeah.
It's
Definitely.
really difficult to do that otherwise. Yeah. Let's talk about, so you talked about points and stuff. Like, how important is it for you guys to look at the reward systems that your banks have, try to earn more points, use those points to purchase flights or whatever it is?
Yeah. I think in this economy, it is so important.
Yeah.
Because if you do it well and you do it strategically, those things actually add up. Like, if you spend X amount, you'll get a voucher for this pharmacy for like $50 or $100. And then you can tell yourself, listen, this month, these toiletries, they were free because you've built up the points towards it. So I think in this economy, you've got to find other ways to stretch the money that you're earning and to be smart about these kind of things. I wouldn't say it necessarily defines whether or not I would change banks, because changing banks is so much of like life admin. But just whatever bank you're with, making all of their products work for you would be the advice.
Yeah, I agree. When I look at the bank that I'm with, there's certain portion of my electricity that I use the points to buy.
Smart.
So I feel like I agree. It's those small things. Also bulk buying.
Oh, yes.
I also
yes.
do. Like when I see those specials, I'm like, listen,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, I love for clicks 3 for 2 specials.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
things that are not going to expire. That,
Exactly.
like when it's finished, I can just, open the cupboard and it's there. Like I love a good, maybe it was the pandemic, but I love a good special on toilet roll, guys.
Same. Recently, I literally
I
was
swear
like,
it's
come
bad.
here.
Yeah. Like I swear every time there's a
Yeah.
special on toilet roll, like I don't know if the pandemic changed me, but I will buy it because it doesn't expire. And when I need it the next time, it's like, whoops, there you go, it's there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Do you have something that's like your funny girl math? So for me, it would be, so I think we all spoke about it earlier. If you have cash, basically,
Oh, yes,
basically the
yes,
item is
yes.
free.
Yes.
And then for me, the other thing would be around if I purchase something and I return it and they give me my refund. Oh, free clothes! Like I can buy something without because I've already spent it once.
That's girl math for sure.
Yeah.
I think mine is if I buy something and there's like a 35% voucher,
Yes.
I'm saving.
Yes.
So it's fine for me to buy it because I'm not buying it at full price. Technically, I saved 500 Rand maybe, you know. I mean, it was like half of, I can buy it.
But
yes.
then was that an item you actually needed before and you were saving, or you were like,
No.
now, ooh, 35?
No. I'm very intentional. So
Yeah.
what I would do is put things in my cart that I really, really want.
Yes.
Not that I need, like maybe it's like, oh, actually I'm looking for a new white dress because summer is coming. And I'll put, like in all the places that I shop online, I'll put it in my cart. And then I'll wait and I'll see,
Yes.
is anyone doing a special?
Yeah.
Because it's something I really want, but I don't want to pay full price. That's my girl math.
I like it.
I
It's
don't
responsible
like,
girl math.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't like to pay full price
Yes.
for things.
Yeah.
And it's something I do with like my toiletries and that because like I like expensive shampoo and expensive skincare, but I also like a voucher. So if it's something I know I'm going to use that I want just to like level up myself a little bit, then I wait for a voucher because I'm not spending full price. Also, if it has free shipping, guys.
free shipping.
Yeah, I'm like Mo. Like I literally put stuff in my cart.
Yeah.
And if there's a voucher or discount, then.
Yeah.
But if
not.
no, if not, no.
Yeah, if you're making me pay full price for this,
No.
I'm not
Oh, no.
going to
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
girl math because
Yeah.
that money that I didn't spend, I really saved.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my girl math.
Yeah. I think also the other thing you're really good at is finding the dupes.
Oh yes,
Really?
yes. I don't buy expensive fragrances. I
Oh,
literally
right.
will look at okay, this is the fragrance I like.
Yeah.
Then I get a dupe.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
But even for that, I use vouchers. I'm like, oh, wait. If they give me a 20% voucher, I'm not paying full price. That's when I'll do it. And I'll be like, okay, this bottle, I can stretch it out for this amount of time. So it will be fine.
Yeah.
You know?
And,
Yeah.
and you know, like when we were reaching the end of the year, you know, it also gets to that point where you're like, ooh, but will it be cheaper on Black Friday?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's actually a little bit of an overconsumption trap we should just
Yes.
talk about for a few minutes
Okay.
because, well, I mean, I can understand retail's going through such a difficult time
Yeah.
right now. And we kind of adopted that idea. I don't know if you guys remember just a few years ago in South Africa when we first adopted Black Friday and people would go to the mall to
Yeah.
buy stuff. I mean, I myself did it the first years we were doing it here because it's fairly recent and it's obviously shifted to online with the pandemic.
Yeah.
But given where retail is, you'll find that it has become like the whole Black November. Like last year, for example,
Oh, it gets a
it's
bit
literally
much.
the whole. So like there's
Yeah.
specials the whole month, and
overwhelming.
it drives the overconsumption
Yeah.
in terms of like, do you really need this?
Yes.
Like what once used to be, I will save and buy my TV on Black Friday because it's X amount off
Yes.
is now like every day of the week there's something that's off. And yes, there's meaningful discounts like groceries, especially I feel
Yeah.
for me it's so meaningful to have that discount at Black Friday because there's so many people who then get to stretch their
Yeah.
end a bit further. But the whole Black November for me is just too much overconsumption.
So I think for me, like, don't call me a nerd. I make a list of the things that I would need coming
Oh
up
yes,
closer.
yes.
Okay.
So like my really expensive skincare.
Oh, me too.
Okay.
All of that stuff, and then I'll wait for Black Friday.
me
and,
too.
And purchase those things so that I try not to look too much. But now that it's online, it's actually so much easier to
Yeah.
just overshop.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I'm not a big Black Friday person.
okay.
Because I feel like, I don't know if it's because I feel like most of the time in my head, I'm like, I feel like maybe the week before, they sort of kind of like reduce it.
Yes.
And then maybe during Black Friday, they take it back.
Oh, like
You know,
that,
and
yes,
then,
yes.
I'm not going to lie.
Almost
I'm
like
not,
price gouging.
Exactly. I'm not big on Black Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that like what you said is so important because if it's standing staple items that you buy, like skincare that's a bit on the luxury end, be smart about it. Know what the price usually is at any time of the year, and you can tell a real deal from a fake deal. Like, for example, if they're going to give you like, oh, if you buy this, you'll get a whole bunch of samples, but it's not samples
You'll
I use
need,
or I need. It's wasting my money. But if it's legitimately just 20% voucher on something I would have spent money on, that becomes meaningful to me.
No, I think.
Do you not think that nowadays we don't look at the difference between our needs and our wants?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
It all gets blurred. And then you start to tell yourself, no, but I need this, but you don't.
You really don't.
You don't. That's when you have to have those really tough conversations with yourself.
No, and I think it's about consistently being mindful. And perhaps it's a little bit because I am afraid that I don't want to become a hoarder, but I try to be like so mindful about how much
Different trauma.
different trauma.
We'll
talk about that on another day.
We'll pivot back to this topic.
We'll come around that, to that
deeper
another
than it
day.
is.
All right, stay tuned. But because I don't want to have a lifestyle where I have so much of stuff, I feel like if I am going to make a purchase for something I have already, I look at, for example, is it needed or is it wanted, or can I then donate the stuff that I have so that I'm making room for new stuff. And I try to do that with clothes as well. And the beauty is you'll find like clothes are retailers where they'll give you a voucher if you take clothes in, for example. So if I buy something new and it's like a replacement item, I try to take something out of my cupboard. So I have like a standing little bag of things where these are the clothes I'm going to take to give out. And even if you're not doing it to get vouchers, you could do it from a selfless perspective. You could donate it to a charity store or somebody who's doing a clothing drive or something like that, you know, and make sure it's meaningful, and also make sure that you're consistently ensuring you're not over consuming in like your daily lifestyle.
Yeah, and hoarding is a big deal.
No, yes. I'm sorry. It really is a fear. Like, because the reality is, think about it. We don't need that much stuff to be alive. Like, we don't need that much.
You really realize that you don't.
We don't. We don't need that much stuff.
You don't need as much money as you think.
Yeah, you don't need as much stuff as you think.
You don't need as much stuff as you
I
think.
agree with the money, but the stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But if you have all the money and you're not buying the stuff, what are you doing?
She's hoarding her money.
There
That's
we
a different.
go.
That's okay though. That's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, the reality is we don't need everything that we have. And if you're lucky, yes, you get to have like different options for things, you know, like electric kettle and a stovetop kettle if you're being very fancy, as an
Stovetop
example.
kettles.
Like as an example, you know.
So Zan and I are fighting our biggest urges right now in terms of getting stovetop kettles. So it's probably on our list of want, but it's a need, but it's a want.
Well, I'll be honest, I'm in the process of needing to buy a kettle because mine broke, so maybe I will buy a stovetop kettle. But see, it's a need, it's not a want, right? I mean,
you just need to boil water.
No, listen, at the moment, I'm doing it old school, guys. The tea bag is in the pot of water on the stove. We've gone old school Indian way of making tea right now. I'm actually afraid I'm going to get used to it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to buy a kettle.
I don't know
I
what
need
the
a kettle.
problem
I'm just going to be like, I can just put the pot of water on the stove. I am literally going back to like my grandmother.
You're going to be like the opposite of overconsumption.
I am. I'm going back to my roots, basically. But I'll be honest, because it broke unexpectedly, like as an example. And like the first thing I didn't do was, I'm going to go buy the first kettle I see. Because I was like, I'm actually going to stop and be like, what do I want in a kettle? Do I want it?
So deep.
I know, right?
Okay, that's
no,
deep.
but it's being intentional about it. Because think about it this way, right? Like for me, if I just buy an electric kettle, which I did when I first moved to Joburg and I moved into my apartment, I bought a kettle. I didn't think twice about it. And then when I was like, I want a stovetop kettle, I was like, but you don't actually need it. So that's where the intentionality comes
So
in.
instead of that time getting 2 kettles.
Exactly, which would have helped me now, because at least I would have had a backup, right, guys? That's the beauty of consuming sometimes. But the reality is I'm actually quite proud. I paused and I said, I'm going to look for a special. I'm going to see what do I want to buy? Is there a brand? Do I just want a certain aesthetic? And in the meantime, we're making tea on the stove.
And we still have tea. So
we still have tea every day.
fine.
The reality is you still move forward. You still do the same things, just in a different way. I think my nanny would be proud.
Yes, exactly.
Guys, I have really enjoyed like delving a little bit deeper into this conversation with you. I hope it will be like the first of more conversations that we get to
Yeah.
have.
I agree.
around
Yeah,
the
especially
topic.
around money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
It's like there's never enough. Like you
Yeah,
can't
that's
always
the
talk
thing.
about it.
You
Yeah.
can't talk about it enough, and I think the more we talk about it, the less afraid we are to open up about it.
Yeah.
So I definitely hope we will have a chance to talk about it some more. Also, if you're watching the video, share your money advice, the things you're afraid about. Share your thoughts with us. We would love to engage with you a little bit about that as well. As we end, I think it'll be fun to end on a few very fun money Q&A.
Cute ones. Let's be non-serious.
Yeah,
Okay,
non-serious.
okay.
We
Non-serious.
were
We've been
serious
so
for the whole
serious.
episode.
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
non-serious.
So
Go
let's
for it.
start. Let's start with back in the day when the money was an option, not an option. You didn't have much of it. So, what is your favorite broke person meal?
Ooh, that is a good question. I think till this day, it still reminds me of like my broke person university days. But 2-minute noodles, guys.
Same here.
2-minute noodles.
2-minute noodles.
Two-minute
just-
noodles.
That for me, and also baked beans on toast.
Oh, yes, yes.
Even when I eat it now, I'm still like it brings me comfort.
I mean, I have fond memories. Exactly.
have fond memories.
I have fond memories
I have
of being a
fond
university
memories.
student, hustling and studying
Yeah.
and eating my 2-minute noodles. And sometimes I just buy 2-minute noodles to remind me
I know,
of
look
how
how
far
far
I've come. Yeah, how far I've come. And
like
it's
comfort
still,
food
it
also.
still slaps though, to be honest. That
Yeah.
little, like
Yeah.
one with a little
Yeah.
sachet, it's still very good.
What is the price of that now, though? Just by the way, like, is it still a broke person meal, or has the price just gone crazy? We need
It's
to double
not a
check
broke.
that.
It's,
Actually,
it's actually not a broke person meal anymore. However, as with everything else, I wait for a special.
yeah, that's fair. What is your non-negotiable luxury spend?
Ooh. For me, it is traveling, an experience, like paying for an experience when I'm traveling and traveling out of the country. Like if you go and there's a fancy restaurant on the bucket list, or going for a show because someone you want to see is in it. For me, I absolutely never, to this day, have not regretted the money I've put into traveling and experiences. I feel like this travel itself is so deep. I hope it's a topic we'll get to talk about at some point because it teaches you so much. And for me, that's a non-negotiable.
I think for me, is cars. Has nose.
Oh,
I
yes.
love cars. I love comfort.
Yes.
I love cars. Yeah. So
No, I agree with you. For me, it is also travel. I think also like I favor experiences over whatever's like the latest trend.
Yes.
I don't really feel like I'm a person who's very much into that. But I'm like, ooh, the latest luxury experience. Yeah, I could get on board.
Absolutely.
I could get on board.
Absolutely.
Tell me
Get
to
on
book
a plane.
Tell me to book a trip tomorrow, and I'm like, cool.
No, absolutely. Get on
I'm
a
the
plane.
opposite.
We'll convert you. Don't worry.
Okay.
It's okay,
Our
we'll
2026
we'll jump in
thing.
your fancy car, road trip.
Yeah.
It'll
We'll take
work
road-
for both of us,
Exactly.
actually.
No, I love cars.
We'll
guys.
be traveling, you'll be driving,
Okay.
everything will be great.
Exactly.
Yeah, road trip.
We'll let the travel bug bite you. It'll be our 2026 thing.
What would you do if money was not an option?
Ooh, that is very interesting. I mean, I think if it was me, something I would love to do, because I see TikToks of people doing this where they give up their job and they take a year or 2 years and they go overseas and they study like postgrad at a further level in another country.
Yeah.
So like go do my master's at Oxford or Cambridge or something like that. So if I had the ability to know I could quit my job and go do that and be financially stable because I wouldn't have to worry about where the money is coming from, that is hands down what I would do.
Yep.
I would literally relocate to maybe a small town and own a small coffee shop.
Oh wow!
And
The
just-
ultimate
Oh,
goal dream.
wow.
I know, it's just like literally no traffic, no stress. Yeah,
Oh my
goodness.
that's for me. Yeah.
Mine's literally feeds from that. So my newest thing that I do now is called Villa of the Day, where, on a bad day when I'm not crying inside like a winner, I go and I look at like the Italian villa I will buy and move to. But I love that.
Yeah,
Yes.
like just like
Yeah.
get away from the noise.
I know. I really do love that. Guys, it has been deep. It has been empowering, I hope. I hope that our
Definitely.
listeners
Definitely.
have found it
Definitely.
empowering. We also want to remind them to just go and check out that we've done, so many different reels and TikTok videos around the deeper money questions.
yeah.
The financial terms you may not know about. Go and have a watch of those. Maybe you learn something new. Ask us your questions. We're learning. You're learning. I think we're all in the same boat that way. But this has been really great.
I have absolutely loved this conversation, guys.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it will be awesome if we can delve into it again even deeper.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've learned so much,
Yes.
even about myself, about you. Even I feel like I've known you your whole life, and yet I still learned something about you. So that's been awesome. And yeah, I look forward to us chatting about this again, and definitely look forward to our next episode, guys. We still have a few episodes to come. I think we kind of touched on what some of the future topic will be.
Yes.
When we talked about the hoarding.
Can you guess?
Can you guess? Yes.
Can you tell us what you think it is?
Yeah, it's definitely not.
And also, if
yeah.
there's a topic you think, you want to hear about from us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us.
Yes, absolutely. I think that would be fantastic. This is just season 1. We hope that we will have many more to come. So look out next week. We will have a new episode. We'll be sharing a couple of reels as we build up to that episode. Send us your hints, send us your comments. Be nice.
Yes, please be nice.
Yeah, be kind.
Be kind, we're trying.
Yeah, share your thoughts with us. We would love to have you be part of the conversation.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole intent of this podcast, to have conversations with more like-minded women out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been great, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And once again, please do not forget to follow us on our different socials.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.